This very photograph plunged the Apollo 11 mission into a controversy that lasted half a century. People questioned why the 15-ton lunar module's landing struts didn't sink into the lunar soil. To put all doubts to rest, we must go back to 1969 and witness humanity's greatest expedition with our own eyes. The story begins with a moving steel giant, the Crawler transporter. Weighing 2,700 tons on its own, it carried the 110-meter-tall Saturn V rocket and launch platform, bringing the total weight to over 8,100 tons, consuming 35,000 liters of fuel per 100 kilometers. It crawled at a snail's pace, carefully transporting humanity's hope to the launch pad. Meanwhile, 3 astronauts were putting on their final suits. These 91-kilogram spacesuits, made of 21 layers of specialized materials, were their only shield against temperatures ranging from minus 173 degrees Celsius to 121 degrees Celsius. They were 38-year-old Commander Armstrong, who was about to take humanity's first step, Lunar Module Pilot Aldrin, who would walk beside him, and Command Module Pilot Collins, who would serve as the lone watcher in lunar orbit. 3 hours before launch, the 3 heroes smiled and waved goodbye to tens of thousands of spectators. However, the atmosphere in mission control turned tense. A liquid hydrogen valve had leaked. Engineers made a split-second decision. It wouldn't affect the launch, and they quickly tightened the bolts. 2 hours and 43 minutes before launch, the astronauts arrived at the launch pad, rode the elevator to the height of a 36-story building, and entered the command module. The hatch closed, the support arms retracted, and final checks began. When all consoles lit up green, history paused at 9:32 a.m., July 16, 1969. Ignition. The Saturn V erupted with tremendous force, 3,500 tons of thrust propelling this colossal machine skyward. In just 12 minutes, the 3 stages ignited in sequence. The first tore through the atmosphere, the second pierced the sky, and the third precisely placed the spacecraft into Earth orbit. Yet the journey had only just begun. The spacecraft would first orbit Earth 1.5 times, waiting for a perfect launch window. Then the third stage reignited, boosting the speed to 10.8 kilometers per second to escape Earth's gravity, resolutely heading toward the Moon, 380,000 kilometers away. In space, a cosmic maneuver was unfolding. Collins had to pilot the service and command modules through a precise 180-degree turn, threading them like a needle to dock with the lunar module hidden behind, then extract it. It was a zero-margin-for-error space ballet. Any mistake could doom the mission. He succeeded. The spacecraft, now complete, began the 3-day journey to the Moon. Outside the portholes, Earth shrank day by day from a magnificent blue planet into a blue gem suspended against black velvet. After 75 hours of flight, they were successfully captured by the Moon's gravity. As the spacecraft rounded the far side of the Moon, the breathtaking Earthrise stopped the astronauts' breath. That familiar blue planet slowly rose over the desolate horizon. It was their only home. July 20th, the day of reckoning. Armstrong and Aldrin entered the Eagle lunar module, bidding farewell to Collins. As they separated, Collins became the loneliest human in history, orbiting the Moon alone for 47 minutes, disconnected from Earth, awaiting his teammates' return. The Eagle activated its descent engine, heading down toward the lunar surface. The designated landing site, the Sea of Tranquility, was a flat lava plain. However, at just 150 meters above the surface, Armstrong's heart skipped a beat. The computer was steering them toward a massive crater. He immediately switched to manual control, piloting the lunar module like an ace, gliding over a rocky field to find a safe landing spot. The fuel alarm screamed. Only 98 kilograms remained. Under the eyes of the world, he landed smoothly. At that moment, mission control in Houston erupted in thunderous applause. Armstrong, in a calm voice, announced to Earth, "Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed." 6.5 hours later, the hatch opened. Armstrong stepped onto the Moon, delivering the immortal words,
"That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind."
He found the lunar surface covered with a soft layer of powder, but unusually firm underneath, explaining why the module's struts sank only a few centimeters. 20 minutes later, Aldrin followed. Over the next 2.5 hours, they collected 21.6 kilograms of lunar rock, deployed a seismometer and other instruments, and raised an American flag. A commemorative plaque was left behind, inscribed with, "We came in peace for all mankind." Having completed all tasks, including a historic call with President Nixon, they returned to the lunar module. Now came the most perilous test: liftoff from the lunar surface. If the ascent engine failed, they would be stranded on the moon forever, while Collins would return to Earth alone. Fortunately, the ascent stage ignited successfully, entering lunar orbit without issue. 3.5 hours later, they successfully docked with the command module, and the three heroes were reunited. They jettisoned the ascent stage, letting it crash onto the moon, providing final data for the seismometer. The journey home began. As the command module re-entered the atmosphere at 11 kilometers per second, intense friction heated it to nearly 3,000 degrees Celsius, turning it into a fireball and cutting off communications for a full 4 minutes. These were the darkest 4 minutes before dawn, as the entire Earth held its breath in silent prayer. When radio signals returned, 3 massive parachutes unfurled in the sky. On July 24, 1969, after 195 hours of an epic journey, the 3 astronauts returned home. They were picked up by helicopter onto the USS Hornet, greeted with heroic cheers, and entered a 21-day quarantine. Apollo 11, humanity's greatest adventure, thus drew to a successful close. It was not just a space mission, but a monument, proving that when humanity gazes at the stars, pouring in courage, intelligence, and dreams, nothing is impossible.